with you. Okay, so whether or not we have done this question in class, anybody remember? I think we did this question in the last session at the end of the class.
Yes, sir.
Okay, never mind. So let's move to the next question. In that question as well, we will be preparing the final account, wherein basically we will be preparing the profit and loss account, trading account, and the balance sheet. So guys, the question for you is this. Okay, so you need to do this question right now. In this question, from the following information, we need to prepare the final account of this particular entity. So we have the information regarding the stock, purchases, sales, productive expenses, unproductive expenses, the trade expenses, return in, return out, loose tools, trademarks, all of these are the information. We need to prepare the final account. That means we are required to prepare the profit and loss account, trading account, and the balance sheet. All right, is that clear? So all of you, first of all, prepare the format of all these accounts, all the statement. Prepare the format of the trading account, prepare the format of the profit and loss account and the balance sheet. Then after preparing the format, we will be transferring each and every item into the relevant account. Just prepare the format of the trading account, profit and loss account, and balance sheet. Let me know when you are done. And in today's session, we will be learning about the adjustment entries as well. So after doing this question, we will be talking about the adjustment entries. Done with the format, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Still doing? Alexander, you're still doing it?
Yeah, I'm done, sir.
Okay, just let me finish. All right, so the first item is stock on 1st April 2016. So what do you think, what is a stock on 1st April 2016? This information is regarding the opening stock, right? This information is regarding the opening stock. So tell me where we will be writing the opening value of the stock. Where do we write the opening value of the stock, guys? Alexander?
Trading account.
Trading account, correct. So please write it in the trading account on the debit side. Do it, everyone. 23,500 will be recorded in the trading account on the debit side. Next, we have the information regarding purchases. So as I have already told you that purchases are always written in the trading account after adjusting the value of the purchase returns. So you will have to find out that whether in this question purchase return is given or not. So find out the purchase return, whether it is given, yes or no. Alexander, Hamad, Steve, tell me whether the purchase return is given in this question, yes or no.
No, sir.
No. Okay, Alexander, are you able to find the purchase return?
Yes, sir.
Yes, purchase return are given in the question by the name of return
Outward.
out. Correct. Return out. Return out is 2,800 given in the question, right, Hamad? Are you able to locate it? Are you able to see returns outward in the question? Hamad.
Yes, sir.
So return out basically means return outward, and return outward basically means purchase return. So purchase return is given in the question by the name of return outward. So we will be writing the value of the purchases on the debit side after reducing the value of the purchase return. So write down 46,800 reduced by 2,800 in the final column of the trading account. 46,800 minus 2,800. It will be written, that is, it will be, I think, 44,000 in the trading account on the debit side by the name of purchases. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Next item we have
Yes.
is sales. We have also learned about this, that sales are also written in the trading account after adjusting the value of the sales return. So sales return is also given in the question by the name of return in. Return in is short for return inward. So we will be writing 1,30,000 minus 6,600 on the credit side of the trading account. Do it fast, everyone. Done. Moving on to the next item. Then we have productive expenses. Tell me, where are we going to record this productive expenses? Alexander, Ahmad, where are we going to record the productive expenses?
Sir, in the trading account.
The trading account. Why it is going to be recorded in the trading account? Why we will be doing that? Because it is related to production. As it is written in the question itself that it is a productive expense, that means it is incurred on the productive activity, production activities. So all expenses incurred on production activity will be recorded in the trading account. Therefore, we will be writing production expenses 27,000 in the trading account, 27,000 on the debit side. Then we have next item, trade expenses. Tell me, trade expenses will be written in which account? Alexander, what do you think where it will be written?
Sir, will it be in profit and loss?
Correct. It will be recorded in the profit and loss account. On which side?
Debit.
Debit side. Perfect.
Sir, before that, there is unproductive expenses also.
Yeah, that is what I'm talking about. Now, unproductive expenses will be recorded in the, okay, unproductive expenses will be recorded in the profit and loss account only. 5,800. Productive expenses will be recorded in the trading account. Unproductive expenses will be recorded in the profit and loss account. After that, we have trade related expenses. Tell me, trade related expenses will be written in which account? Hamad, can you tell me?
So the trade expenses one, which is in particular column, I mean, on the left side.
Sorry?
Sir, trade expenses, right?
Yes, trade expenses.
Sir, it will be recorded in the trading account.
Why it will be recorded in the trading account? Because it is related to trade. No. In trading account, we only write expenses relating to production or expenses relating to purchase of goods. So trade expenses is basically means expenses relating to selling of goods. Trade expenses basically means expenses relating to selling of goods, and expenses which are incurred on selling of goods is always indirect.
Profit and loss account.
Therefore, in the debit side of the profit and loss account, 1,200 in the profit and loss account. Then the next item we have is returns in and returns out. We have already treated returns in and return out in the trading account. Then we have loose tools. What is loose tools? What do you think? What are loose tools? Loose tools are equipments. These are equipments used in factory. It is like machines. So these are like loose tool basically means these are kind of screwdrivers or something. So the loose tools are kind of assets. So loose tools will be recorded in the balance sheet on the asset side. 7,200 in the balance sheet on the asset side. Alexander, Hamad, and Steve. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Please write it down. Next item we have is trademarks. Tell me, what are trademarks? Trademarks are what? And where it will be recorded? Hamad, Alexander, any idea what are trademarks? Okay, no problem. So I'm pretty sure that both of you must be aware about that we have two types of asset, intangible and the tangible assets. Both of you are aware about this, tangible or intangible assets.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So what are tangible asset? Anything that that basically have the physical existence that can be touched and seen is the tangible asset, like plant and machinery, like loose tool, building funding. All these are the asset and tangible in nature. Similarly, there are few assets which are considered as asset, but they do not have the physical existence. Neither they can be seen or touched. Those assets include patent, copyright, goodwill, software. All of these are considered as the intangible asset. Similarly, trademark is one of the intangible asset of the entity. So trademark is also, because it is an asset, so it will be recorded in the balance sheet itself. Is that clear, Alexander, Hamad, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we have, so please write down trademarks in the balance sheet. Asset side 5,000. Then tell me discount credit. So what do you mean by discount credit? So discount credit basically means you have to basically decide whether discount credit means we have received a discount or we have given a discount. What do you mean by discount CR, discount credit?
Discount received?
Correct, discount received. Discount received. If we have provided discount, then it would have been discount debit. So if it is discount credit, that means we have received a discount of 2,100 and discount is considered as indirect income. So we will be writing it in which account?
Profit and loss.
Profit and loss account. Perfect. So write down in the credit side of the profit and loss account 2,100 by the name of discount received. Okay, next item we have is salaries. Tell me, Alexander will tell me where we will be writing the amount of salary.
Sir, profit and loss,
Profit and loss account on which side?
debit side.
Debit side, 9,600, correct. Please write it down on the debit side. Salaries on the debit side of the profit and loss account, 9,600. Then the next item we have is fixed deposit with the Punjab National Bank. So we have a fixed deposit account with a particular bank, and in that account we have 10,000 of bank balance. So tell me, what do you think? It is a liability or an asset? It is an expense or income? What do you think? What is fixed deposit with the Punjab National Bank? Anybody? What do you think? What is fixed
It's
deposit?
an asset.
All right, it is an asset. It's simply basically you can interpret it as bank balance, huh? And bank balance is always your asset. Alexander, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
It is obviously it is a bank balance, but it is in the form of fixed deposit. So irrespective of whether it is a saving deposit account, fixed deposit account, or the current account, irrespective of the type of deposit, if in question it is given that there is a bank balance, it simply is your asset. So we will be writing it in the balance sheet on the asset side by the name of fixed deposit with PNB, Punjab National Bank. Okay, moving on to next item, we have cash in hand. So Peer will be answering this. Peer, what do you think? What is cash in hand and where we should write it? Please tell me quickly. Here, am I audible or not? Here, you can tell me in the chat as well. All right, never mind. So, anybody? Hamad, Alexander, Steve? I think Peer have answered. Okay. So, Peer is saying that it will be recorded in the balance sheet. Okay, that is correct. Yes. So, cash in hand will be recorded in the balance sheet on the asset side. Is that clear? All of you, Hamad, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next item we have is motor vehicle. This one is easy, I think. So tell me, motor vehicle, we will be writing it in which account? Trading,
In
profit and loss, on the
balance sheet
balance sheet on which side?
on the credit side.
On the asset side.
Yeah, asset side.
So whenever we talk about, whenever we are discussing in context of balance sheet, we do not use sides. We basically say the assets. But I mean, though basically we do not use the term credit or the debit. We just use the asset and the liability side. Okay, next we have is motor vehicle. So motor vehicle is obviously it is an asset. So it will be recorded on the asset side of the balance sheet. Then we have leasehold land. So we have land. Who is going to answer this? Alexander, do you know what is leasehold land?
Yes, sir. A balance sheet
Correct.
asset side.
It is an asset and it should be recorded in the balance sheet itself. Okay. Then we have is capital. Capital, tell me. Capital should be recorded in
Liability.
liability side of the balance sheet, correct. But we won't be writing the value of the capital in the final column. Instead, we will be writing it within the final column. So capital will be adjusted by the amount of net profit, and it will also be adjusted by the amount of drawings. Then after adjusting the value of capital by the profit and drawing, after that we will be writing it in the final column. Next we have is life insurance premium. Tell me, what do you think? What is life insurance premium? It is a which kind of expense? Where we should record it? Life insurance premium.
Profit and
It's
loss.
liability
Liability, okay. And someone
on the
is
balance sheet.
recorded in the which should record it in the
Balance sheet.
okay. So first of all, let me tell you, since this is a life insurance premium and life insurance is not a business expense. Everybody clear about this? Life insurance is not a business related expense. Life insurance premium paid, this is a personal expense of the entrepreneur, of the businessman. So whatever the expenses paid for personal use, it is considered as a drawing for the business. Is that clear, Alexander, Hamad?
Yes, sir.
So life insurance premium paid, because it is not a business related expense, therefore we won't be writing it in the profit and loss account. Is that clear? Then because it is not business related expense, therefore we are not writing it in the profit and loss account. So where we record it? So we will be recording it in the balance sheet by the name of drawings. Any expenses incurred for personal purpose is considered as a drawing of the businessman. So therefore, because it is a personal expense, it will be categorized as a drawing. And because it is a drawing, it will be reduced from the value of the capital. Is that clear, all of you? We will be writing it in the balance sheet, reducing it from the value of the capital by the name of drawing. Everybody clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So please write it down in the balance sheet by the name of drawing. You can also write it by the name of life insurance premium as well, but more appropriate will be you should write it as drawings, 6,000. Then the next item we have in the question is freight in. So tell me where we should write freight in. Alexander or Hamad, Steve, anyone, please tell me where we should write down freight in. Freight and basically means purchase related expense. We have paid freight charges, or you can say shipping charges on purchase of goods. So we should write it in the, tell me, Hamad, where we should write it? Alexander.
So trading account.
Correct. It is why everybody is so doubtful about this. I have already explained you that any expense related to purchase of goods will always be recorded in the trading account. This is it. No more discussion about it. So freight in will be recorded in the balance sheet because it is a purchase related expense. So 1100 should be recorded in the trading account. Do it everyone quickly. Then we have freight out. Freight out is obviously a selling related expense. We have paid selling expenses. We have incurred selling expenses by the name of freight out, 3000. So all selling related expenses are considered as the indirect expense. Therefore, we will be recording it in the profit and loss account on the debit side. 3000, please record everyone in the profit and loss account, freight out. Is that clear till this point? Anybody having any doubt?
No, sir.
All right, very good. Next item we have is rent. Now, in the bracket, we have been provided with a further information that rent belongs to factory. 1/3 of rent belongs to factory, and 2/3 value of the rent, 2/3 expense of rent belong to the office. That means rent will be allocated in factory as well as in office. So expenses that will be allocated in respect of the factory will be recorded in the trading account, and rent that belongs to the office premises that will be recorded in the profit and loss account. Is that clear, everyone? So we will divide 7500 by 3. Whatever the value we will get, it will be a factory expense. Then we will multiply 7500 into 2 by 3. Whatever the value that we will get, it will be recorded in the profit and loss account. Everybody clear about this? Anybody having any doubt?
No, sir.
So rent is given in the question. Rent is 7500, right? 7500. And it is also given in the bracket that 1/3 of the rent is related to office. 1/3 is related to, sorry, it is related to factory. And 2/3 of the rent is related to office. So the rent which is related to the factory, it should be recorded in the trading account. This will be recorded in the trading account. And rent which is related to the office, it should be recorded in the profit and loss account. This will be recorded in the profit and loss account. All right. So we will be calculating 1/3 of 7500. It will be 7500 into 1/3. So this will probably be 3 2 6. 2500. All right. And 7500 into 2 by 3. It will be 5000. So this will be taken into profit and loss account, and this should be recorded in the trading account. Is that clear, everyone? Anybody having any doubt? Alexander, Steve, Hamad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, please record 2500 in the trading account by the name of rent. Then again, record 5000 in the profit and loss account on the debit side by the name of rent, office rent. All right, shall we move to the next item, everyone? Hamad?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next item we have in the question is legal expenses. Tell me. where we should record legal expenses. Legal expenses. Tell me, everyone, where we should write legal expenses. Hamad, Alexander. Why you guys are doubtful about this? Legal expenses are expenses, no? It is just an expense. And do you think it is related to production? Do you think it is related to productive activity? Legal expenses are like court fees or lawyer charges. All of these are legal expenses. Registration charges. You have paid certain fees to the government or to any particular government body. So whatever the expenses that you have incurred on payment of fees or basically court lawyer charges and everything else, that is collectively known as the legal expenses. So do you think it is related to productive activity, production activities? Yes or no? Ahmad, Alexander.
Yes, sir.
It is related to production activity, legal expenses?
No.
No, it is not related to production activities. Alexander, is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So because it is not related to production activity, therefore it will be treated as which kind of expense? Direct expense or the indirect expense?
Indirect.
Indirect expense. Therefore, we will be writing it in the profit and loss account on the debit side. All right. Then we have, after that we have miscellaneous receipts. Okay. Hamad will tell me where we should write it. And after that, Alexander will. Tell me, Hamad, where we should write miscellaneous receipts?
Sir, the miscellaneous receipts will be recorded in the profit and loss account on the credit side.
Perfect, very good. On the credit side of the profit and loss account, please write it, everyone. Miscellaneous receipts on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Then the next item, and Alexander will answer me, sundry debtors. Tell me, Alexander, where we should write it?
Sir, asset side of balance sheet.
Sorry. Yes, sundry debtors, asset side in the balance sheet, correct. So please write it down, everyone. Sundry debtors on the asset side, 30,000. Then Hamad, sundry creditors. Answer quickly, please.
Sorry, sir.
Sundry creditor should be recorded in which account, which statement? Sundry creditors.
It will be in balance sheet on the debit side. I mean that liability.
Yes, sundry creditors are liability, therefore in the liability side of the balance sheet, 16,100. After that, we have donations. Tell me what we should do with the donation.
Profit and loss account.
Correct, profit and loss account. And it is obviously, it is an expense and it is not related to production. So it is indirect expense and it should be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. So donation 600 should be recorded in the profit and loss account. Then we have bad debts. Tell me, Alexander, Hamad, bad debt should be recorded in which account? Bad debt.
It will be recorded in the profit and loss account debit side.
Because it is a loss. Bad debt is a loss. Bad debt basically means your debtors have defaulted in making payment and you are unable to recover 4750 rupees from the debtor. So that it is obvious, it is an obvious loss. So we will be writing it in the profit and loss account on the debit side, 4750. Then we have bad debts recovered. So bad debt recovered are what? Bad debt recovered are just opposite of bad debts. Since bad debt is a loss, so bad debt recovered is a revenue. It is a kind of income. It is a kind of gain. So bad debt recovered 4,000 should be recorded in the profit and loss account on the credit side. Everyone clear about this? Alexander, Ahmad.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So please write it down in the profit and loss account, 4,000 on the credit side. Then we have, after that, we have bank charges. Bank charges. So bank apply various charges on depending upon different situation. Like when you withdraw fund from the bank, then at that time also bank applies certain charges. When bank issue passbook, bank issue ATM, when you use ATM machine of the bank, of a particular bank, then also bank applies charges. So all the charges that is paid to the bank, collectively known as bank charges, 2,800 in this case. So we will be writing 2,800 in the profit and loss account because it is an expense that we have paid to the bank. So bank charges 2,800 should be recorded in the profit and loss account debit side. After that, we have the second last item, loan on mortgage. Tell me, Hamad, what do you think? Where we should write it down? Loan on mortgage. Hamad, Alexander.
Sir,
Balance sheet.
Simple, no? Loan on mortgage. It is, don't get confused by the term mortgage. Consider it as a loan only. It is a loan. So loan is obviously an obligation upon a business. So if there is any obligation upon a business, it is treated as a liability. And all the liabilities are recorded in the balance sheet on the liability side. So loan will be recorded in the balance sheet on the liability side, 20,000. Alexander, Hamad, and Steve, Peer. All of you are clear about this?
yes, sir.
Next item, the last item we have, no, in fact, the second last item, we have interest on loan. Tell me,
Yes, sir.
interest on loan. Where we should write it? Interest on loan. Do you think it is an income or it is an expense? And just tell me whether it is a productive expense or non-productive expense.
Sir, on the profit side.
Yes, correct. In the profit and loss account on the debit side, it is non-productive expense, indirect expense. So interest on loan is an indirect expense. 2,400 will be recorded in the profit and loss account in the debit side. Okay. Now the last item we have is closing stock of 36,500. All right, guys. So Alexander will tell me. Alexander,
Yes,
tell where we should write the closing stock.
trading account credit side.
Correct. Trading account credit side, as well as in the, we write
Balance
the closing
balance
stock at two places. Yes, correct. In the balance sheet on the asset side, as well as in the trading account on the credit side. So please write it down, everyone. Write down closing stock on the credit side of the trading account, 36,500. And then again, in the balance sheet, same amount will be recorded on the asset side by the name of stock or closing stock. Okay, so this is it. So we have recorded all the items in the relevant accounts. Now we can find out the gross profit, net profit, and now after that we will tally the balance sheet. So come on, guys, just calculate the gross profit. Let me know. Then calculate net profit, and also tell me the asset total of the asset and the liability side. Do it quickly. Let me know. If anybody is having any problem, then he or she he can ask. Halima is not doing the class, right? Okay. Done, everyone. Hamad, tell me the gross profit. Or anyone else, tell me the gross profit.
Gross profit will be 61,800.
It will be 60. How much it is? Sorry, 61,000. Hamad, it should be, sorry, 61,800 it is. If you are getting 61,800, this is correct. Gross profit, everyone, it should be 61,800. All of you just tally your gross profit with the answer I'm telling you. Gross profit should be 61,800. Alexander, you are getting 61,800 gross profit.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Move to the profit and loss account. Calculate the net profit and let me know, please. Done, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me the net profit.
Is it 32,750?
32,750. Let me check. So it is 32,450. Alexander, please tell your solution with this solution on screen.
Okay.
This is exactly profit and loss account should be reflected. Hamad, you are getting 32450 net profit. Hamad, tell me the net profit. You are getting 32,450, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. Now tell me the value of the balance sheet on the asset side and the liability side. Just tell me the asset side value only. Alexander, just tell me the asset side value.
Sir, I'm calculating.
Okay. So you guys are not using calculator or what? Why are you taking so long to calculate? So everyone just keep this in mind that whenever we will be doing class, you should use calculator. Otherwise, the calculation will take a lot of time. So I would recommend while doing the class, you can use calculator. But the question I gave you for homework, that question at the time of doing that question, you should not use calculator. So on the asset side, in the balance sheet, we have trademarks and fixed deposit, motor vehicle, leasehold land, then closing stock, sundry debtors, cash in hand, loose tools. All of this should be collectively, it should be 2 lakhs. So are you guys getting 2 lakhs on the asset side? Sum total of all the assets should be 2 lakh. Alexander, Hamad, Steve, Peel, anyone, please tell me.
Yes, sir. 2 lakh.
2 lakh. Okay, just make sure the liability side should also tell you. It should have this same balance. Let me show you how it will be done. So we will first of all carry forward the net profit to the balance sheet. So net profit is 32450. So we will be adding 3250 in the capital. And then we will be reducing the value of the drawing by the name of life insurance premium. So the total value of capital will be 1,63,900. Okay. Then we have loan mortgage on the liability side, and the current liability by the name of sundry creditors is 16,100. So all of these collectively equalizes 2 lakh. So balance sheet tallies that proves that we have our solution is correct. Anybody having any doubt? Alexander, Steve, Hamad, Peer, you want to ask any question? Guys?
No, sir.
No question. Hamad, any doubts?
No, sir.
All right, just okay, everyone. So we'll be moving to the next topic. And next topic we have is the adjustment entries. So what are actually adjustment entry and how do we do it? So adjustment entries refers to those entries which are passed at the end of the accounting year. And the question arises why there is a need to pass the adjustment entries. So whenever you will be asked about adjustment entry, what is adjustment entry? You can simply say that adjustment entries are those entries which are passed at the end of the year. That means at the time of preparation of the final account. You can also say is like in this manner that adjustment entries are those entries which are made after preparation of the trial balance. That will simply mean the same thing, that adjustment entries are done at the end of the year. That means at the time of preparation of the final account. Now the question arises why adjustment entries are required. So before understanding why adjustment entries will be required, we will be understanding what are the different items for which adjustment entries will be required. So I'll be telling you why adjustment entries will be required in the later session of this chapter. In today's session, we won't be talking about why adjustment entries will be required. I'll be only teaching you what kind of different items are there for which adjustment entries are required. After covering all these items, then we will come back to this topic. Then we will learn why adjustment entries are required actually. So it will be easier for you to understand then. Okay. So following are the activities or the items for which adjustment entries will be required. Like adjustment entries will be required for the closing stock. And we already understood, we have already done questions based on closing stock, that when closing stock is given in the question outside the table, that means we will be writing the value of the closing stock at 2 places, first in the trading account, then in the balance sheet. This is basically the adjustment entry that we are doing when we are placing closing stock in the trading account as well as in the balance sheet. That is what the adjustment entry basically means. Okay, so we already know how to deal with the closing stock, but other than closing stock, we have other items as well. We have outstanding expenses and prepaid expenses, accrued income, income received in advance, depreciation, interest on capital, interest on drawing, bad debts, provision for doubtful debts, manager commission, and other expenses, other items could also be there. All right. So basically, in question, we have information regarding these items. We already know how to deal with the closing stock item, information regarding the closing stock, but we are not aware, we are not, we haven't learned about how to deal with the outstanding expenses, how to deal with the prepaid expenses, accrued income, and all of these items. So we will be talking about these items one by one. So first of all, starting with the first item, how to deal with the closing stock, how to pass the adjustment entry for the closing stock, that we already know. If there is closing, if there is any information regarding the closing stock in the question, so what do we do usually? We basically write it in the, first of all, in the trading account. On which side? On the credit side. Then in the balance sheet on the asset side. So credit side and the asset side. Is that clear now? How to deal with the closing stock? Everybody is already aware about this. Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So while preparing the trading account, we will be writing it in the trading account on the credit side. And when we are preparing the balance sheet, we write down the value of the closing stock at the asset side. Okay, so this is how we adjust the entries of the closing stock. This is how we make the adjustment entry for the closing stock. But sir, what about the other items? What about the outstanding expenses? So first of all, guys, you should know what is actually outstanding expenses. Outstanding expense basically means it is an expense which is not yet paid. Outstanding expenses are yet to be paid by the business enterprise. Outstanding expense is expense that is not paid by the business. So how to deal with the outstanding expense? If there is any information regarding the outstanding expense, like outstanding expense can be expense related to factory, it can be an expense relating to office or sales. Like for example, let me tell you, if there is an outstanding expenses given in this fashion, like for example, if it is written that wages are outstanding wages. So what do you mean by this? It is a factory related expense that is not yet paid by the business. Is that clear? And if it is given that salary is outstanding, that means it is obviously, it is an outstanding expense, but it is not related to factory. It is related to office. So expenses can be outstanding. It can belong to the factory. It can belong to the office as well. Is that clear, all of you? Alexander, Hamad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So outstanding expenses can be broadly categorized as office related outstanding expense or factory related outstanding expense. So let's say if there is any outstanding expense given in the question, irrespective of whether it is a factory expense, factory related outstanding expense, or the office related outstanding expense, how we are going to deal with that. So if it is outstanding expense, first of all, if it is basically factory related expense, then in that case we will be writing it in the trading account. But if it is related to the office related expense, then we will be writing it in the profit and loss account. So it can go in either account. It can be written in the trading account or the profit and loss account. So if it is, let's say for example, if it is outstanding wages, then we will have to write it in the trading account. If it is outstanding salary or any outstanding or any indirect outstanding indirect expense, in that case we will be writing it in the profit and loss account. Is that clear, everyone? If it is outstanding expense related to factory, we will be writing it in the trading account. Otherwise, we will be writing it in the profit and loss account. Alexander, Hamad, Steve, Peer, everybody is clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And because outstanding, something is outstanding, so it is obviously a liability, correct? If any expense which is not yet paid by the enterprise, that means it is still, if it is still outstanding, so it becomes an obligation upon the business. So other than recording it in the trading or profit and loss account, we will be writing it in the balance sheet as well, because outstanding expense is an obligation on the business also. So we will be writing it in the balance sheet as well. On which side? Anybody, please tell me on which side we will be writing it. Tell me, Alexander, Hamad, anyone, Steve, P. It should be recorded in the balance sheet, yes or no? Everybody agree with this?
Yes.
Yes. And because we are writing it in the balance sheet, why we are writing it? Because it is an obligation upon a business. Since this expense is not yet cleared by the business, it becomes an outstanding expense. And any outstanding expense is an obligation. Therefore, we should write it in the balance sheet on which side?
Liability.
Liability side. Hamad, are you clear about this?
Yes, sir.
So this is the simple question I'm asking. Na? Why you guys are not responding? Outstanding expenses are a liability for the business as well. So other than after recording it in the trading account or profit and loss account, we will be writing it in the balance sheet also. So in the trading account, we will be writing it on which side? On the debit side, because it is an expense. And in the balance sheet, we will be writing it in the liability side. So in the trading account, we'll be writing it in the debit side. Let's say if there is wages and outstanding wages are also given in the question. So we will add the amount of wages by the outstanding wages. Let's say, for example, the wages total wages is 20,000, for example. Total wages to be paid to the laborers is 20,000. Out of 20,000, we have paid 12,000 wages. So we will be writing the expense of wages in the trading account by the name of wages, right? But if there is any outstanding wages as well, then we will be adding it in the wages in the trading account itself. Then we will be writing the final value in the trading account. So that basically means we will be recording the 20,000 in the trading account. If 12,000 is paid and 8,000 is pending, outstanding, then we will be writing the wages paid 12,000, outstanding plus outstanding wages 8,000. So total 20,000 will be written in the trading account. Is that clear, everybody? Alexander, Hamad.
Yes, sir.
Hamad, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And also we will be writing it in the balance sheet on which side? On the liability side, sir, by the name of outstanding expenses. All right. Now let's talk about the third adjustment entry. Third adjustment entry will be for the depreciation. So everybody, I'm sure every one of you is already aware about depreciation because we have already done a dedicated chapter about depreciation, that depreciation is basically reduction in the value of the asset over the period of time. And depreciation, if there is any information regarding the depreciation, then we will be passing the adjustment entries for depreciation like this. Depreciation, because it is obviously an expense of the business. So we will be writing it in the profit and loss account. First of all, it will be recorded in the profit and loss account because it is an expense. And because depreciation also causes a reduction in the value of the asset, so we will be writing it in the balance sheet also and reducing the value of the asset by the amount of depreciation. Listen to me carefully. Let me give you an example to make it more clear. Just a minute. Okay. Let's suppose that there is a machine, and value of machine is, let's say, for example, it is 50,000. Okay. And it is given in the question that value of machine depreciate every year by 10%. It is also given in the question that value of machine depreciate every year by 10%. That means depreciation will be applied every year at the rate of 10%. That means 10% of 50,000 will be how much? It will be 5,000. Okay. So first of all, this depreciation should be recorded in which account? Tell me. First of all, we will be recording 5,000 in which account? We will be writing it in the profit and loss account. Is that clear, everyone? Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So first of all, we will be writing it in the profit and loss account on which side? On the expense side, the debit side, by the name of depreciation, 5,000. It will be recorded here. And again, we will be writing it in the balance sheet, but just pay attention, try to understand how we will be recording it in the balance sheet. In the balance sheet, we will be recording the value of depreciation, but not directly. We will basically reduce the value of the machine by the amount of depreciation. So we will write down value of machine in the, because machine is an asset now. So we will anyways be writing the value of the machine in the balance sheet, 50,000. But just a minute, let me be quick. Let's suppose machine is already 50,000. But since the depreciation has been applied on the machine, so we will be writing value of depreciation. We will be reducing the value of machine by the amount of depreciation. So this is how depreciation will be recorded in the balance sheet. And the final value will be reflected in the final column, 45,000. This is how it will be recorded in the balance sheet. Is that clear, all of you? So basically, depreciation will be recorded at two places. First in the profit and loss account, then in the balance sheet. And in the balance sheet, how we will be reflecting it? We will be basically reducing the value of the asset by the amount of depreciation. If the depreciation is on machine, we will be reducing the value of the machine by the amount of depreciation. If the depreciation is on building, sorry, if it is on any kind of any other asset like furniture or any other asset, then we will be reducing the value of that asset by the amount of depreciation. Am I clear to all of you? Any doubts, guys?
No, sir.
Okay. So depreciation will be recorded first in the profit and loss account and then in the balance sheet. And in the profit and loss account, we will be recording it on the debit side as an expense, and in the balance sheet, it will be reflected basically by it will reduce the value of the asset. So this is how it will be shown in the profit and loss account on the debit side, and in the balance sheet on the asset side, reducing the value of the asset. All right, everyone, is this clear? Everything that we have discussed in today's session is clear to all of you, yes or no? So
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you so much. So we won't be doing any question based on adjustment entries in today's session. We will be doing question based on the adjustment in the next session only. So but I hope everything is clear to all of you, and I would request all of you that before attending the next session, make sure you revise everything, especially about the adjustment entries. Otherwise you won't be able to understand anything in the next class. So it will be a little, the question based on the adjustment entries come a little difficult as compared to the question that we were doing till now without adjustment entries. So it is not going to be very difficult. If the basic funda of this chapter is clear to all of you, then I am sure that you will be able to understand the concept of adjustment entries and the question based on adjustment entries as well. So this is it for today's session, guys. And okay, thank you so much everyone for taking the class. And by chance, any one of you, if any one of you require the PowerPoint of this chapter, anybody require PowerPoint of this chapter, do let me know, please. I'll share the PowerPoint with you also, so that you can revise it in a proper manner. So if you're making notes already, then you obviously do not require the PowerPoint. But if you guys are not preparing the notes properly, then I would recommend that study through the PowerPoint also. So just let my team know about this, and they can share you the PowerPoint. All right, is that clear, all of you? Alexander, Hamad?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, thank you so much for taking class. This is it for today's session in accounts. We will be taking a break of 5 minutes, then we will continue with our economic session. So those of you who are here for the economic account session only, thank you so much. Hamad, you will be doing the economic session as well?
No, sir, I will leave.
Okay.